I take a picture of that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
But you have to be fast, so I might be moving fast on some of these slides. But
Okay.
you'll get some more of this information
Okay.
in an email, don't worry.
All right.
Does anyone want to pay off their mortgage in 10 years versus 30 years using your existing income and no change in your lifestyle? So basically what I'm saying here is that you don't have to change your income level, you don't have to change your expense level. And we'll talk about how you use that, what's left over, cash flow, to pay off your mortgage sooner. And if I could teach you how to save $242,000 and my fee is $20,000, would that be a fair deal for you? How many of you think that's a good deal? Yeah, that's a pretty good deal? Most people say they want to save the $242 first before they would pay me the $20,000. That's okay. That's okay. So what plan were you given? You're graduating from high school, $30,000 if you get a high school education. Maybe you get a bachelor's degree or a master's degree and you start out and you're making this kind of money. But then you go out and you buy your dream home and then you save for retirement until the age of 65. So who teaches this to us? Parents and teachers, right? That's sort of like what we're all taught. I was taught that. I think a lot of you probably were taught the same thing. So what is the financial plan for most people? They go out and get a good education and get a good job, right? Well, this is Silicon Valley. How much is a house in Silicon Valley? Anybody know what the median price of a house is in Silicon Valley right now? San Jose?
I'm gonna guess 900,000.
Pretty daggone close. It's $1 million. And now, do you know how much income you need to buy $1 million house? Anybody?
15, at least 15.
15 what?
50,000.
50,000 a year. How much a year
No, a
income?
month.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. So to buy $1 million house, it'd take about five times your annual income to buy $1 million house. So if it's $1 million, it's 5 times. That's $200,000 a year on gross income that you would need to buy a house. And how do you come up with that number? Five times. Anybody know what that?
I think like your payment can only be a third of what.
They call that the
But I'm not sure.
your ratios, your front end ratio, your back end ratios. That when you get talking to a lender, they'll get you into all that kind of detail. But just sort of a thumbnail sketch. The thing that determines that factor is the interest rates. Right now we're experiencing a very low amount of interest rate, and so we can use a factor of like 5. That's how a lot of these people are able to buy $1 million houses with these low interest rates. But what happens if the interest rate goes up? To 5, 6, 7, whatever, then that factor is going to go down. So then it's going to affect the affordability of houses here in the Bay Area. Or the employers are going to have to start raising their wages so that the people coming in, that they're bringing in, can afford the houses that they're paying. Does that make sense? So how many of you know the federal state tax bracket? Let me go back. How many of you are W-2 employees? A few. Coming. W-2. The rest of you are small business owners? Okay. So as a small business owners, what is your tax bracket? For those of you that are small business, do you know? 30%? How about W-2 employees? Do you know what your tax bracket is? You got to factor your federal tax, your state tax, sales tax, property tax. And you just keep going. And it can be up as 50% when you start adding in all the taxes. So it's important, and it's great that some of you are already self-employed. I'm self-employed, because that gives you a lot of benefit that maybe you don't have if you're a W-2 employee. And not that I'm disparaging W-2 employees. I mean, I was a W-2 employee. You can make some good money as a W-2 employee, but have a strategy on what you can do above and beyond that. So it's important to learn how to keep more money than giving it to Uncle Sam. So what is the cost of college education for your kids? Anybody know? Anybody have kids in college? Have any idea what it costs to go to college?
It depends on what college you go to.
Stanford?
I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna take a guess.
Yeah.
45,000 a year.
$25,000 a year, and that's $100,000 for a 4-year education. That's a lot of money that you have to come up with above and beyond all the other things that you have to pay. So what do you have left over for retirement when you go through all of that?
Nada.
So how's the plan working for most people? We call it the 40-40-40 plan. You work 40 hours a week or more, for 40 plus years, and then you try to retire on 40% of your income. How many of you can retire on 40% of your income? Have you guys looked at your Social Security statements they send you? This is how much Social Security you're going to get at the age of 65? I think mine's like $2,000 a month. And I paid all that money in for all those years. So are you even going to have any money for retirement? You know, that's part of our planning, right? We got to plan for this stuff. So why can't we get ahead? We have big numbers in taxes, we talked about that. And then there's the interest rate that we pay. You know, whether it be on mortgages, on cars, credit cards, school loans, all those kind of things, it's interest. And then we work ourselves to bone to try to pay for all of that, right? So where were you going to be at age 65? 54% on this survey showed that they were dependent on other people. 36% were working. You had 5% that had already passed away, and another 5% that were $1 million or more in this particular survey. So if that's the case, why did 90% of people fail when it comes to their finances? I mean, they were probably all well-educated people. They didn't have any financial education. How many of you got taught financial education in your school? I went and got an MBA. They did not teach me what I'm going to be teaching you tonight. I got a master's in business. Financial game plan? Do you have a plan? How many of you have a plan, a financial game plan? Good job. And what is your plan?
To buy more houses?
To buy more houses? How many you want to buy? How many?
Well, I would like to have 100 at least, multifamily.
Yeah? How many units? Multifamily, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like 10 units, 40 units, 100 units?
At least 10.
10, that would be nice, right? You get 10 doors.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yes?
Yeah, same as her.
Same as you want to get into some multi-families, right?
Yeah, I want to do like big apartment complexes towards the end, eventually. That's my goal.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked to a guy the other day, he wants 40. So we want to have a game plan. Like these people already have a game plan, or have some ideas of what they want to do. You know, how about if we just all had a game plan? I want to buy one rental house a year. Do you think that we might be able to do that?
Yeah.
And if after 10 years, how many rental houses do you have? 10. Lena was talking earlier how single families are pretty easy to manage. So if you could buy, I think it's awesome that you have a bigger plan. But I'm just saying for a baseline, and I'm going to want to teach my kids this, buy one house a year. You know, my daughter lives in Chicago. She could buy one for $200,000. You know, Silicon Valley is not $1 million. If you could just buy one a year and then have the tenants start paying that stuff off, if you have 10 houses free and clear and you're getting $2,000 a month, how much are you getting a month? Passive income, right? I mean, that's where you ultimately would like to be. Time is on your side in real estate. The sooner you get started, the better. So is now a great time to make that shift? Today, most people are paying anywhere from 45 to 50% in interest and debt. 30% in taxes, maybe even more. Everybody's situation is a little different. And then we've got somewhere around 25% that we're trying to live off of. What we want to do is we want to do a big shift where we're paying less in interest and debt, and that's our velocity banking discussion tonight. We pay less in taxes, and that's tax strategies. As a single self-employed, I've been self-employed for 12 years, and I've learned a lot of stuff here already that I haven't even applied as a self-employed to even reduce this number even further. How many of you guys that are self-employed are S-corps? One? And what's the benefit of being an S-corp as a self-employed person?
You have about 15% self-employment tax in your state.
Right, exactly. You're saving in self-employment taxes. As a self-employed, you have to pay self-employed taxes. So how do you save money on self-employed taxes being an S-corp?
When I filed as an individual, 1 year I remember I paid about $7,000 in taxes, and then the next year when I opened a corporation, I paid only $1,400.
Yeah. You take the money that you make as your self-employed company, as an S-corp, you can pay yourself a payroll, which you do have to pay FICA on, which is the same thing as self-employed taxes. But on the other portion, it's a dividend from your S-corp that is not subject to self-employment taxes. So that's a strategy that we teach here that will help you to reduce some of these taxes, even as a self-employed person. Now, if you're a W-2 employee, you want to start thinking about how you can start a side business that's going to allow you to do a lot of these kind of things that we're talking about.
What
Yeah.
is an S-corp?
It's a form of a entity. You know, if you start up a business today, you'd be a sole proprietorship, right? It's just your name and your social security number. Then you could go to be like an LLC, a limited liability company, which is like flow through taxes for you. And then you could do like an S corp, which throws out dividends, and then you can start paying yourself a payroll. And of course, I'm not an accountant. I'm just saying this is the stuff that I'm learning, but you'd want to get with an accountant on that to exactly how that would work for your situation. So we want to shift from where we are today to where we want to be to get to these kind of numbers. The 5 steps to financial freedom from Garrett Gunderson, founder of Wealth Factory, is number one, you want to recover cash flow. What is cash flow?
Money that comes
Money.
in,
Money, huh?
regular basis, money that comes.
Money
in.
comes to you on a regular basis, okay?
So it's basically your income minus expenses.
Exactly.
Left over.
Income minus expenses, hopefully that's a positive number.
Yeah, hopefully that's positive.
Okay, because you want cash flow to be positive, right? So income minus your expenses, whatever's left over is cash flow. So what we want to do is we want to recover cash flow. We want to increase the cash flow. And then we want to, once we do that, we can strategically engineer wealth and we can accelerate our investment income. Once you get more cash flow, what can you do with it? You can start investing in more things like apartments, multi-families, that kind of thing. And then you can scale that business revenue up, you know, with a strategy and a plan. Make it count, and then you can live on your cash flow. So how can you make the big shift? You know, you got people over here with a fixed mindset. They say, oh, I'm not smart enough. I give up, I quit. It's too hard. I avoid challenges, fear of failure. I don't have any money. I'm too busy. I don't have any time. Well, guess what? You guys are over here because you're here tonight. You took the time to come here because you want to learn more. You're in a growth mindset already. You want to learn anything you can. You want to persevere through your challenges and embrace them. You know that failure is just a mother of success. You learn from your failures. Money comes to you easily. I love the statement, I love money. Money loves me. I say that all the time. Why would I say that? Let's all say it. I love money.
I love money.
Money loves me.
Money loves me.
Now, why would we say that?
Because we do love money.
What happens?
Money loves me.
Yeah.
We
You
program
love the
some-
money, you're going to take care of it better. You love your children, right? You're going to take care of your children.
Right.
And money loves you means you're going to attract money.
Correct.
So we want to love money and we want to attract money. It's a fun thing to do. Success leaves clues. The wealthy, what do? 74% of business owners and real estate investors. Most of you here today have already started that journey. You're already a business owner. You have your own business. A lot of you are already on that journey as a real estate investor. Some of you are just getting started. Why not get started today? And then you can do some of these other things where the higher end professionals are making some money. But the 74%, right? Most people you know that have a lot of money, they did it in real estate, right? So there's 4 currencies that we want to talk about tonight. What is a currency?
Medium of exchange.
Medium of exchange? What is in my wallet?
$1.
Money.
A money. Money is a currency, right? That's the one that everybody knows about, the money. What is another currency maybe that we have?
Bitcoin.
Gold.
Bitcoin, I've heard that every time I've done this meeting. That's virtual money, right? It's an exchange, you can exchange for
Oh, your
value.
time.
Huh?
Time.
Time. Time is the currency, right? You ever heard time is money,
Yes.
right? How about education?
Yes.
Knowledge is power, right? Can you exchange knowledge?
Yes.
You know, someone that's experienced can help someone that's not experienced with their knowledge. And that's a currency that's happening there. So what's the 4th currency that you guys haven't thought about yet?
Assets.
Hmm?
Assets.
I'm sorry.
Assets.
Assets? Okay, I mean, that's sort of like a monetary, equals money, right? An asset is equals money, like the value of a property. Okay, I'm looking for another one. Huh?
Health.
What? What are we doing in this room?
Learning.
Learning.
So your
But
mind.
I just met Lena. I just met Lana.
Well,
I just met, what are we doing here?
Networking.
Networking, relationships, right?
relationships.
Isn't that